Hello, this is Brendan Ramsey with the Indiana Recruiting Guide, bringing you another episode of Indiana Recruiting Guide TV. This time we'll be breaking down the Class 3A sectionals and making predictions for each of those sectionals. So let's go ahead and get started off with Sectional 32 at Boonville. That's a very good sectional featuring Class 3A number 7 ranked Evansville Bosse, who comes in at 16-5, and then you have number 14 Mount Vernon Posey at 16-5. Both of those teams have first-round byes and are on opposite sides of the bracket, obviously. And also on Bosse's side of the bracket, you have Evansville Memorial, a tough team who's played a very good schedule. Sagarin actually has them, even though they're only 9-10, rated ahead of Mount Vernon Posey, which is somewhat interesting, especially seeing as how Posey's in the top 15 in the state. So Evansville Memorial might give Bosse a little bit of a run there in that semifinal matchup. However, in the end, I think Bosse just has too much talent for any of these teams. Bosse beat Memorial by 34 and Mount Vernon Posey by 14 earlier this season. That might actually be flip-flop, I'm not sure, but they beat both of them handily, and I think they will do so again and win that Sectional 32 at Boonville. Now on to the Washington Sectional, Sectional 31. Number 15, Vincennes Lincoln, comes in at 15-5. They have a pretty favorable draw. They will play Pike Central in the first round, and then Washington got the bye and will await the winner of that one. And they're opposite in the bracket from Heritage Hills and Jasper, which is a good thing. Vincennes beat Heritage Hills by 4 in the regular season, and I think they will get by Heritage Hills one more time and win Sectional 31 at Washington. Now on to Sectional 30. That one is at Charlestown. Good sectional here in southern Indiana. It's pretty close to Hanover, so I've seen quite a few of these teams play. Class 3A number 3 ranked Brownstown Central is 19-1 currently. They're definitely the heavy favorite going into sectional play. They've played each of these 6 potential opponents and beat them all pretty handily in the regular season. Plus, they also got the best draw. They play Silver Creek in the first round. Salem waits the winner with the bye. Most likely coming out of the bottom half will be Bronson Kessinger and his Corydon Central team. They're 15-5. However, I think Brownstown Central should be able to win fairly comfortably. Now on to Sectional 29 at Greensburg. This is a good sectional. The question always is, when will Greensburg and Batesville face off? These are two very good teams, one of the best rivalries in the state. And this year they'll be facing off, potentially, as long as they win their first round matchups, they'll be facing off in the semifinals in the bottom half of the bracket. Greensburg's number 1 in the state with an 18-1 record. Batesville's number 8 in the state with a 17-2 record. These teams split their series during the regular season, each team winning at home, I believe. And as usual, they'll play for a third time, most likely here in the sectional. And I think that Greensburg will win the rubber match and move on to the regional for the second straight year. Now on to Sectional 28, which is held at Greencastle. Only one team here, 12-8 Edgewood, is over 500. They're going to have to get by West Vigo in the second round, and Owens Valley has the bye on the top half of the bracket and will most likely make it through to the finals to play the winner of that Edgewood-West Vigo game. I think that Owens Valley, even though they're only 10-10 on the season, I think they're going to take advantage of that good draw on the top half of the bracket and bring home the Sectional 28 championship. Now on to Sectional 27 at Danville. I've been really high on number 10 ranked Northwest, Indianapolis Northwest all season. They're 14-6. They definitely have the talent on that team to make a run in the tournament, not just win the sectional. However, on the top half of the bracket, you have host Danville, who comes in at 15-5. They're a good team with a couple really good guards that can definitely make some noise here, but I just don't see anybody beating Indianapolis Northwest. I think they'll win that sectional. On to Sectional 26, the meat grinder that is the Mount Vernon Fortville sectional. One of the best overall sectionals in the state, absolutely the best 3A sectional in the state, and as luck would have it, the 3 best teams are all in the bottom half of the bracket. Number 2, Mount Vernon Fortville, comes in at 18-1. You have number 13 and defending 3A state champion Guerin Catholic, which is currently 17-5. Then number 15, Brebeuf Jesuit, led by high-scoring junior guard P.J. Thompson. They're 11-8. However, they do play a very good schedule and can play with anybody in the state. And like I said, they're all on the same side of the bracket. Guerin Catholic has the benefit of the bye, while Mount Vernon, Fortville, and Brebeuf will face off in the first round. In the top half of the bracket, I look for Indianapolis Howe, which has a pretty good team. Even though they were hit hard by a couple transfers this past year, Howe still has a pretty solid team that can surprise some people. I think they'll make it to the finals. However, I'll look for Mount Vernon, Fortville to protect their home court and win the sectional. On to sectional 25 at Frankfort. Things are set up nicely for a good final matchup between number 9 Frankfort and number 12 Lebanon. Lebanon won by 12 during the regular season. I think that they'll get the best of Frankfort again, and they will upset the home crowd at Frankfort, and Lebanon will win that sectional 25. Sectional 24 at Muncie Central. Yorktown comes in at 14-6 with the best record on paper. However, they've been sliding a bit of late, and I think that teams like Muncie Central, even though they're down this year, especially since losing Travis Woods, I think Muncie Central could win this sectional. And also, probably the favorite, in my opinion, would be Hamilton Heights, led by Alex Etherington. They have Grant Weatherford as well. It's a good team with some talent. Definitely the best player in the sectional with Etherington. And I look for them to win sectional 24 at Muncie Central. Now to sectional 23, which is held at Norwell. Host Norwell comes in at 13-6. They're the only team over 500 in this sectional. They will play Eastbrook in the first round, while Mississinawa has the bye and will await the winner of that matchup. I wouldn't sleep on that Mississinawa team. They have a couple pretty good young pieces. They're 8-12 on the season. I don't necessarily see them beating Norwell, but I think they're capable of pulling an upset potentially. But I'm going to go ahead and stick with Norwell to win sectional 23 on their home court. Sectional 22 at Garrett. Number 5, Fort Wayne Concordia is in this one. They're 17-3. Really, they shouldn't have much of a problem here. They played DeWanger in the first round. Then Leo has the bye, which would be their semifinal opponent. Concordia is a senior-laden team. I believe they have 7 seniors. Lots of good talent there. I think they're poised to make a deep run in the tournament potentially. They're one of my dark horses for the state title even. So I look for Concordia to make it through sectional 22 at Garrett fairly comfortably. Now sectional 21, which is at Wawasee. This is a well-balanced sectional, especially at the top with number 11 Tippecanoe Valley, which is 16-3, West Noble, which is 15-4, and Northwood, which is 13-6. West Noble and Northwood open up against each other, and I think Northwood will get the best of them and also win the entire sectional. They dropped games to West Noble and Northwood in the regular season. However, it was only by 2 points to West Noble and 6 points to Tippecanoe Valley, so they're certainly neck and neck with those two teams, and I see them getting hot at the right time and winning sectional 21. Sectional 20 at Twin Lakes. This is a very good sectional with 6 of the 7 teams over 500. That's pretty rare that you see something like that, if nothing else, because in most sectionals, you play all those teams in the regular season and you end up just beating each other up. However, the only team under 500 is Benton Central, who got the bye. And then you have Twin Lakes playing Connequa, Peru against Western, and Northwestern versus West Lafayette. My pick for the title here is West Lafayette. They come in at 15-5. I'm going to go ahead and take Connequa to get through on the top half of the bracket, but fall to West Lafayette in the final. Sectional 18 at Plymouth. You have the potential, sectional 19, at Plymouth. You have the potential for a great semifinal matchup here between Mishawaka Marion, led by potential Mr. Basketball and Notre Dame recruit Demetrius Jackson, and Plymouth, led by junior big man Mac Mercer, one of the best 2014 prospects in the state. Like I said, those two teams could face off in the semifinals of the bottom half of the bracket. South Bend St. Joe's versus New Prairie is an intriguing matchup in the first round. I watched these two teams play each other earlier this year at Super Hoops at the Fort Wayne Coliseum, and South Bend and St. Joseph actually won by about 30. However, I do know that New Prairie is a pretty good team. I know they're missing one of their best players earlier in the season. I'm not sure if he's back yet. If he is, that certainly changes things. However, I'm going to go ahead and take St. Joseph's to get through to the final, and I think that Plymouth will end up winning it all. They are currently 6th in the state ranked 17 or with a 17-3 record. Now sectional 18. This is another one of my, I'm not really sure if you can call it number 4 team in the state a dark horse, but I think Andrean can compete for a state championship, and I think they'll certainly win this sectional. They're 16-3. They open up against Kankakee Valley, I believe. I apologize if I pronounced that wrong, but that's what they open up against, and probably will end up facing Hanover Central in the final. Hanover Central's 13-7, but like I said, Andrean's definitely the class of that sectional, and they should make it through fairly comfortably to the regional. And the final 3A sectional, sectional 17, which is up at Hammond. 4 teams definitely are going to compete for the sectional championship. You have Gary Wallace at 11-7. You have Hammond Gavitt at 10-10. Griffith, who is also 10-10, and then Hammond, the host, which is 10-9. Definitely well balanced there. Everybody right around 500. Gary Wallace and Hammond have the buys on their respective halves of the bracket. I look for Gary Wallace, led by Charles Cooper, a really talented senior who pretty much a double-double machine. He's just like 6'3", but does a very good job down low. I look for him to lead Gary Wallace to the championship. However, don't sleep on Hammond Gavitt. It's a pretty solid team. They've done some nice things this season. I think they will probably make it out of the top half of that bracket, but like I said, I'm going to go with Gary Wallace to win the sectional. So there you have it for Class 3A. Looking at the class as a whole, obviously Greensburg, the number 1 team in the state, pretty much returns everybody from last season. However, they were upset in the regional last year. I think they're probably the favorite to win the state championship this year. However, you have teams like Evansville-Bosse, you have teams that I mentioned like Fort Wayne Concordia and Andrean who can potentially win titles, and then also Mount Vernon Fortville. Certainly you cannot sleep on them. It's a very good team led by CJ Coleman and Stephen Turner. So I think for my favorite to win the Class 3A title, I'm going to go ahead and go with Greensburg. I think that 1-2-3 punch with Bryant McIntosh, Sean Sellers, and Ryan Wellage is just going to be too much. And I think they'll end up bringing home the Class 3A crown this year. So that's about it for my predictions and thoughts on Class 3A. Sometime tomorrow, the Class 4A video should be out. And until then, you can just check out the website, www.indianarecruitingguide.com. Make sure you follow me on Twitter @INRecruitGuide. You can email me, text me, or call me with any thoughts that you have on anything that I've said in this video or any of the past 2 videos. All the contact info will be in the description box. Make sure you subscribe to the IRG TV here on YouTube, and stick around for the Class 4A video tomorrow. Thanks.